There's so much to learn about Filipino culture and cuisine, and by discovering our shared connections with other countries, we can gain a deeper understanding and appreciation of our own. Let's uncover the similarities with another country that was colonized by Spain, Colombia. To talk about their ceviche, then head to different parts of northern Mindanao to find out how traditional Kinilaw is made in the Philippines, loved by our ancestors during the pre-colonial times.
Masarap siyang pulutan. Wish me luck. Iba siya.
Okay lang.
Good morning! sorry.
I have been a food creator for a few years now, but to be honest, I'm still learning so much about Filipino cuisine. It's one of my goals to stay wide-eyed, to travel the country, and to discover everything it has to offer. Today is going to be all about the Philippines and a country that we would not often talk about in terms of our history, Colombia. Besides their amazing megadiversity, love for the oceans, as well as their cuisine and religion born out of a similar Spanish colonization, we have one more thing in common: our love for food. Unknown to some, the Philippine-Colombian connection began even before the two nations were established. During the era of the Manila-Acapulco galleon trade that linked Latin America with Asia, colonial Spain prohibited direct trade with the Viceroyalty of Peru, which encompassed Colombia. Apparently, this did not deter Filipinos and Colombians for engaging in trade. Whether these goods came exclusively from the Philippines is hard to determine. However, we can safely assume that they came through the galleon trade. Thankfully, we don't have to keep our ties with Colombia a secret anymore, especially when it comes to sharing our flavors. Two dishes that are extremely similar that could be tied together. Citrus originated in Asia, and it's well recorded that limes and onions only arrived in South America after Columbus and was brought in by the Spanish and Portuguese traders. Knowing that, the Kinilaw we know today predates the ceviche, where fish is cured in citrus. I wanted to know more about it, its influences, the stories and traditions behind it, and I thought who better to learn these from than David Pardo de Ayala, a Colombian chef and resident manager of 𝗖𝗿ecie 𝗲𝗿. David is a chef by training and started cooking almost as early as he started walking. In the early 90s, he became the youngest winner ever of his country's national culinary contest, the Nestle Toca de Oro. David met his Filipino wife while studying at the Culinary Institute of America and followed her to the Philippines in 1997, residing in the country for almost 3 decades. I'm sure he has a lot to say, not just about Colombian cuisine and ceviche, but also about his experience living in the Philippines and his thoughts on Filipino cuisine and culture. All that while we cook our versions of the dish. Did you enjoy the food right away?
Do I enjoy the food in the Philippines? I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
From day one.
From day one?
Yeah, even the flavors that most tourists or foreigners are a little bit hesitant about. I enjoy that as well.
Is it because Colombian cuisine and like Filipino cuisine share some certain similarities that you personally like?
That helps a lot. For example, when I've been to Pampanga, to some of the great restaurants in Pampanga. My God, I got teary-eyed. I kid you not. I got really homesick because how similar was the food, the flavor, etc. To Latin America. Ceviche is a preparation that all countries in South America with coast on the Pacific Ocean share. You will find ceviche from Chile, Peru, Ecuador, Colombia, Central America, even Mexico. Everybody has their own version. Peru is acknowledged to be the OG of the world of ceviche. But in Colombia, we also have our own version. And today I'm going to share with you a version that is enjoyed and prepared throughout the country, because something that is very unique about Colombia is that our geography is very different. We have coast on the Atlantic, coast on the Pacific. We have jungles in the Amazon. We have plains towards the east. And I come from the middle of the country, from the Andes. Bogota is a city that is landlocked.
I'm really looking forward to how you're gonna prepare this.
All right, super. Let's get to it.
All right, so this one right here is... Oh, they're still moving.
They're still moving. Talk about fresh, my God.
This is as fresh as it can get, honestly.
Okay, sorry, buddy, but you have to contribute to my ceviche.
Yes.
We are going to start by peeling these guys, removing the head, And after that, we're going to cook them very lightly on a flavorful broth. Ceviche, most of the time, it can refer to cooking with the acidity of a citrus fruit.
Yeah.
And in the Philippines also, they cook with acidity. But also can be referred to an acidic or a flavorful condiment that is added to a food that is cooked otherwise. But this is the easy one. Later, I'll share with you a more restaurant version of ceviche. We can start by prepping our shrimp.
How did you end up like learning about cooking and stuff?
My mom and my grandma was a very accomplished cook. My mom as well. And I remember my mom used to bribe me. She used to give me 50 pesos. 50 pesos during my summer vacation if I helped with the small tasks in the kitchen. My generation grew with a very old-fashioned concept of Colombian cooking. In fact, I want to show you a cookbook.
Okay, perfect.
That I brought, because this is a real, I don't want to say museum piece, but it's more than 30 years old.
Classic.
So this is the great Colombian cookery book. I'm translating literally. Gran Libro de la Cocina Colombiana. The great book of Colombian cooking. And, my mom gave me this. I must have been 12 years old, so this is almost 40, and this is the Pacific Coast, for example. And look at the harvest. It's very similar to what we have here in the Philippines.
Yeah, I mean, like looking at this, like straight up, it kind of looks like I'm looking at like a Filipino boodle fight. What are like the particular things that you kind of appreciated about like Filipino culture? Like what made you stay, basically?
Well, other than my
Aside
wife.
from you.
I'll tell you something. The Philippines is the Latin country of Asia. We have so many things in common because, well, the Philippines was a Spanish colony for 300 years, I think.
Yeah.
We were a Spanish colony, I think, 100 years longer. So everything from the importance of family to the importance of religion to the social structures, everything is quite similar. So I never felt like I was in a different country. It was just happened. But one thing that we do have in common, and I guess countries like the Philippines and Colombia, is that we hate wasting. We don't waste absolutely anything. So all these things that we're peeling here and setting them aside, like we mentioned earlier, they would find a use in a professional kitchen or in a home kitchen. We have to be more resourceful here.
Yes, that's a key word, resourceful.
These nice peelings of onion, you can place them in the cooking
like more
liquid.
of like the flavor.
Yeah, we're going to make a flavorful.
Very resourceful. So in Colombia, what role does acidity kind of play in your cuisine?
No, it's not as important as here, and it's a pity, and I'll tell you why. People tend to season only with salt and pepper, but they should also season with acidity. People forget that. And you'd be surprised at the impact that a few drops of vinegar or a few drops of lemon would have on the overall flavor profile of a dish.
For the sauce, Chef David mixed some julienned red onions, tomato ketchup, fresh herbs, orange juice, lime juice, hot sauce, olive oil, finely minced garlic, and one more ingredient to give it more love.
This is when the party starts. We add some
My favorite.
brandy. Of course, if you're making this for kids, you don't use it.
I think I put like half a shot in there.
Well, keep tasting, chef.
Honestly, it looks really nice. Like it's super colorful.
It's been quite an easy preparation, right? Like, quite an easy process to follow.
Like honestly, anyone can do this at home.
And in the meantime, I'm going to prepare another version of ceviche, something a little bit more chef-y, something a little bit more restaurant style.
Is this your own take?
No, I cannot claim to have invented this because it's just an application of a technique that is widely used.
For Chef David's more contemporary take on ceviche, he'll be using octopus, grouper or lapu-lapu fillet, chilies, garlic, ginger, cilantro, lime, light cheese, and coconut milk.
was trying to find out the origin of ceviche, and I was totally surprised. Citrus fruit came from Asia because it reached us by way of Spain, which in turn came from the Middle East. So definitely, when everything is said and done, maybe ceviche was invented in Asia because citrus fruit came from Asia. I'm going to add some julienne red onion, some 𝗖𝗿ecie. This is our Filipino 𝗖𝗍cie labuyo. We've removed most of the seeds, but not all of them, because we want a little bit of kick. I would not completely remove it. Ceviche does need a bit of heat, a bit of happiness in it. A little bit of garlic, not much. Let's add to this a little bit of ginger, a little bit of coconut cream. This is unsweetened coconut cream. Add a bit of salt, a dash of pepper, and then we have to put it in the refrigerator to let the acidity work its magic. If you wanted to have some more cooking time while retaining the raw center, I would give it 30 minutes, and that's what we're going to work with. Very, very important.
So honestly, it looks, both of them actually look very pretty, like too pretty to eat. We'll dig in.
Let's see.
Okay. So I guess we can start with like the traditional.
I'm getting homesick.
Chef, I love this. It's so bright. Like the first thing that hits you is like a lot of that citrus.
Correct.
A lot of bright flavors, and the shrimp is so tender, very sweet.
You can also get a little bit of the spirit of the brandy, right?
Oh yeah, the brandy. It kind of hits you at the back.
How's the ceviche?
Chef, honestly, like, it's amazing. It's my first time actually trying like Colombian ceviche. And I was surprised it's very light. Like, just the right amount of like tanginess.
Yeah.
And everything kind of just melds well together. I love the choice of like seafoods you put in here.
But it's very, very important. Very, very important, especially in this age of not only convenience but globalization, that all the flavors of the world are melding together, and we don't know anymore what dish came from where. Our culinary identity is a very important factor for our whole culture. Do your part in preserving Filipino heritage. I recommend go back to the source, go back to where all it started. Try to get in touch with the culinary tradition of wherever, in this case, ceviche or 𝗖𝗍cie came from.
Yeah.
And you will be surprised at the things that you will find, and you'll be able to incorporate to your cuisine now of 2024 can still be improved by the techniques of decades and centuries ago.
The conversation with Chef David about ceviche reminded me that the best way to understand a dish is going back to its roots. So what better way to continue my Kinilaw journey than heading to Mindanao, where it is said to have originated. I met with Chef Chino Mempin from Cagayan de Oro. We drove to H Proper Coffee Roasters, a third-wave specialty cafe and roastery, where he works as a culinary specialist, to pick him up before heading to Cogon Market to explore what CDO has to offer.
Dito may isang stall. They sell yung isa sa mga essentials for making the kinilaw. So we have the mysterious tabon-tabon, sili, and the kaffir, yung biaso na sinasabi nating suha. We call it suha here. So let's proceed. So kung may karinderya ka or restaurant like who serves that when you serve kinilaw, nasa pantry mo to.
Making it milky.
Milky, a little bit more milky than that, no? White effect. You know how leche de tigre is, no? So
As in
it's
ceviche.
milking.
So,
yes.
there we go. So we have a whitish brownish tabon-tabon, and we have the pinkish rosy tabon-tabon.
And dito naman, let's see, ito talaga ang bibigay ng flavor ng kinilaw. You're familiar with this, right? So ito tinatawag namin here, suha in Bisaya. Suha. Some execution, they mix this with their sauce.
Yes.
Some slice this thinly. Then they eat it together with the mixed fish.
Yes.
Ganun, no? For garnish and everything. Hindi siya medyo juicy. Wala siyang masyadong juice. But as you can see, it's really aromatic.
Oh wow, ang last ng ano niya, very perfumey yung amoy niya. It's the most fragrant citrus I've ever smelled actually.
Yes.
Oh, pero actually hindi siya masyadong maasim.
Like I said, lesser juice.
Yeah.
More on aromatic.
More on aromatic siya.
We have
Sile.
so for me, we have variations like we have the green ones. I like bit more of the green one.
The green.
Yes, medyo mas flavorful siya. Like imagine
Yes.
biting off like bell pepper.
Bell pepper.
Yung effect na yan.
Yes.
Ha? And then besides it's lighter, hindi siya ganun ka-spicy. And you have more flavor. Oh, this one is malasugi.
Malasugi.
So this is medyo kinilaw na section here.
Kinilaw is native to the Philippines and has been embedded in our country's history even before the occupation of the Spanish. Antonio Pigafetta wrote that when he arrived in the Philippines. The locals gifted them with fish and wine instead of pursuing a brawl against them. Similar to Native Americans, the fish was said to be dipped into these ferments to improve the flavor. These chosen offerings solidified the existence of the concept of kinilaw even then. The earliest mention of the dish also goes back to 1613 in Vocabulario de Lengua Tagala. Written in the same book, Pedro de San Buenaventura explains that kinilaw can also be made with carabao meat. Other authors also suggest the use of other proteins as an alternative for fresh fish. In the market, I had sampater with palapa, 𝗖𝗍𝗀𝗃, a traditional hot chocolate, suman or sticky rice, and mangoes. Cheers.
Cheers. So, tablea base.
Tablea base. Finally, it was time to try the real deal. My first kinilaw out of many in this trip. Compared to the kinilaw that I'm used to, parang yung napansin ko lang, masabaw siya.
Masabaw siya.
Very creamy. Yung, at first, if you look at it visually, mukha siyang nilagyan ng coconut milk. But it's not, no? It's from the tuba
From the tuba.
and the
Tabon-tabon.
tabon-tabon that makes it creamy.
Take more sauce.
It's like it was only kissed by the vinegar.
Or acid, any acid.
Yeah,
kaya,
it's not that acidic. This one, the taste is much more mellow.
That's the tuba.
That's a tuba.
That's a
So
tuba.
naturally sweet
Yes.
yung tuba.
Maybe we'll try with the green chili.
Okay, yes please.
You eat your kinilaw. Yeah, eat the patch. Yeah. Then kuha ka dito. Sabaw din. Yan. Sip ka dyan. No, so... May difference, friend.
Sorry.
Too much? Too much?
No, perfect.
Not too much?
That was one heck of a classic kinilaw, but I was ready for more. So we went to Tubahon, Lagundingan, where I got to try one of the freshest renditions of kinilaw in the city. Okay, so, Chef, saan tayo ngayon?
We're in front of the beach. The beach.
Front of the beach.
is just right there, oh.
Yes.
So we're in Tubahon, Lagindingan. So airport
Tubahon, Lagundingan.
Lagindingan Airport is just there. So ito ang atong mga local vendor. Anong pangalan to, ma'am?
Tita.
Si Ate Tita. Tita. So
Ate
okay,
Tita.
so in front of us ang mga different. So we have halaan. No, so swaki, so urchin.
Swaki.
Lato.
Lato, no?
Sea grapes.
And then yes, this one, sea cucumber.
Yes.
So in Bisaya we call it balat.
Balat. Like
Balat.
skin. As in,
Balat, yes.
So, and all of these are sourced from just here.
Yes,
Around
di ba,
the area.
te? So, Kailan mo nakuha? Karon saan nakakuha na to?
Ganiakat lang siya.
Early this morning.
Early this morning.
Oo.
This one.
Buhi pa ni? Buhi pa, ha?
Kanang
Soy!
na siya, ay na siya sa kuan.
Ate Tita prepared a generous serving of kinilaw na balat or sea cucumber for us. She chopped some balat first, washed it several times, then mixed it with aromatics, chilies, calamansi, and sour tuba.
Wala.
Wala.
Pwede naman dili siya tabon-tabonan siya.
Okay. Ba't po kayo nagdadagdag?
Kana siya mga kinaanga kuan ani sa balat sir kay ug kana.
May nakagatombong sili.
Ay,
ka?
nakaon sila.
Parang ano din, ha? Seaweed taste,
Seaweed
may
flavor.
clam taste. But more on like maybe brininess.
Brininess, yeah.
No?
May
So
konting
brininess
saltiness
from the dagat talaga.
Doesn't get any fresher than that. Now that I've gained an understanding of how Cagayanons prepare their kinilaw traditionally, I'm thrilled to see how it can be executed in a more contemporary way at Chef Chino's restaurant, Chino's Deli. Chef, I was watching you very intently kanina. Grabe yung process mo, naka-inspire while making. So can you please describe what we have here?
So eto, the kinilaw that we made is made of like the samin, the local trevally that I got yesterday. Now, so I made it. Swerte tayo nakakuha tayo for you to taste right now. So normally, like I said, when we make kinilaw, malasugi talaga because it's sustainable.
Yeah.
What I've learned is like maybe when working with seafood is really what's the catch of the day. Then we make, especially when we do ceviche or the kinilaw natin. So kung ano ang pinaka-presko, then we do something about it. It's heavily, medyo spicy to. But we have, because if we have different elements, so other element we have the tuba mixture, the leche de tigre, and then under here we have an espuma made of coconut cream. No? So that one gives you another level.
Yeah.
No? So maybe binds really well. We have a cracker made of cassava. Kipping, we call it kipping.
The cassava.
Yeah, the cassava, the cracker itself. It's as big as this.
Okay.
And then we finish it with like caramelized na arnibal. We finish it up with like our roasted garlic na squid ink aioli.
Yes.
And then lime na mayonnaise.
Oh my god.
Try with the sauce also.
Parang it has all the components of the kinilaw that we tried earlier, but may konting edge eh. When you innovate on dishes like this, how do you sort of balance parang paying respect to the original recipe while elevating the dish?
Ang take ko naman talaga for kinilaw or however I develop is based sa our flavor profile, me, my brother, my sister, my mom, my wife.
Yeah.
May a little bit of surprise,
Yes.
may freshness, and there's effort behind it.
It's perfectly put. With a full belly and fuller understanding of Kinilaw, I'll continue this journey by visiting another well-known Kinilaw eatery in CDO, 𝗖𝗿cie𝘀𝘀𝗶𝗿 and convince its owner to show me what it takes to make a delicious plate of Kinilaw. Grabe, you prepared like an entire feast for us. Parang buffet na yung ano.
Our restaurant serves sutukil.
Sutokil.
Yeah, sugba, tula, kilaw. Tinola, sabaw,
Sabaw.
kinilaw, this one.
Yeah. You mentioned kanina that you added coconut din.
Yeah.
Coconut cream po.
Milk.
Coconut milk.
Yeah.
Sobrang sarap talaga. Iba-iba yung ways of preparation but almost equally ang sarap nila.
Yes.
Lahat. Cheers.
Okay. 3 cheers for 5 years.
It's 4 o'clock a.m. and we are all half asleep. But we are in Talisayan, Misamis Oriental to follow the process of how LA sources his ingredients for his Kinilaw. Being so close to the coast, he makes sure to get his fish only from the people he trusts.
So sir, ano po yung mga isda na nahuli natin kahapon? Tsaka
Habasan ito,
ano po yung
habasan.
magandang ikilaw or iihaw dito?
Ito masarap din tong iihaw, masarap din tong ikilaw, depende na sa panglasa
Ano po
pero
yung pangalan nun ulit?
habasan,
Habasan.
bagis. Pwede din ito ng lapu-lapu,
Ay,
mga
lapu-lapu.
tatlong klase.
Para sa inyo po ito yung pinakamalasa.
Yes.
Of course, there would be no Kinilaw without acid, and for LA's version, they use fresh tuba. And how fun it is that I get to tag along with him to harvest it, which is something I'm experiencing for the very first time.
Isa din siya sa kilala ko dito na nagsusupply ng tuba dito sa Talisayan.
Ah, okay.
Abutan ng mamayang hapon,
Oo.
maasim-asim na siya.
So yung dapat gamitin po sa Kinilaw para sa inyo, yung medyo maasim na or
Depende sa gusto mo.
Depende
Gusto
sa
maasim,
preference
gusto
mo ba?
matamis, o-
Yung
depende
panglasa
on
mo.
the preference.
Ah.
So kung parang wala namang tama o mali,
Iba gusto ng well done.
well done.
Yung iba rare, medium rare, parang ganyan ba? Yan yung sa Kinilaw. Depende sa preference mo.
Bale, puputulin po muna siya.
Puto-puto
yung sanga.
makikita naman yun dyan.
Ayan, bale parang nakikita nyo guys, may apakan na siya dito sa mga puno.
May guide na, may
May
guide.
guide, may guide na. Kaya ni Juri yan. Kaya mo ba yan? Kaya.
Oh.
Okay. Ano kaya? Okay ba?
I don't advise you to go under the top.
Okay.
Kasi yan.
Okay, sige. Actually, di ko alam paano bumaba eh. Sige guys, wish me luck! I'll try. Aray. Actually, medyo masakit siya sa paa. So grabe, super respect sa mga gumagawa nito. It's much more difficult than I thought. Hello everyone! Saan si Sir Edison? Ayun po. Hindi ko po hindi po ako marunong boba. Saan yung isang apakan?
Okay. Careful yung paa. Dito.
And after my really pathetic attempt, Sir Edison showed me how it was done. Edison cuts the coconut bud and collects the sap. This is the tuba.
Hindi na yan natatakot. Seasoned harvester na yan.
Kaya niyang gawin na nakapikit na siya. Ganun. No, honestly, I'm just in awe kasi para kasi this whole time kala ko yung preconception ko ng tuba was it's parang fermented coconut. I didn't know na galing pala siya dun sa sanganong dahon. So it's nice to finally see yung way of harvesting it. Very labor intensive pala siya.
Pero kung minsan may puno na matamis talaga, yung puno na yun matamis yun. Medyo siguro maasim-asim yan,
Depende rin po sa sa panahon. So minsan kahit fresh po siya, minsan maasim,
Pag magandang panahon, masarap pag tuba.
mas matamis. Sige po,
Pag
kailangan
medyo hangin-hangin,
salain.
medyo maasim-asim. Kunti, matamis, maasim-asim.
Naamoy ko siya kanina parang may konting sipa yung yung amoy niya.
Asim, sir. Depende kasi sa kuwan.
Tikman natin.
Yung puno na yun, matamis yun. Akyatin natin mamaya yun.
Para siyang parang yogurt yung lasa niya. Very parang kumuha ka ng buko juice tapos sinalo mo sa yogurt. Yun yung last niya. Medyo maasim-asim. Pero matamis pa rin siya eh. Parang sweetened yogurt.
May
yung
puno
ano, yung
siya na
lasa niya.
matamis yun, no? Asa kayo, no?
Sige, punta tayo dun sa...
Ang tabon-tabon is yung main ingredient talaga dito sa Mindanao para sa kinilaw. Yan yung nagbibigay ng nagmamask ng fishy smell ng kaya tabon-tabon to cover to mask the fishy smell of the fish. And then it also helps in preventing indigestion. Dati maraming tabon-tabon dito na nag-grow. Pinapalitan na nila ng ibang crop.
Unfortunately, tabon-tabon is already considered an endangered fruit, and it is up to us to realize how essential it is in highlighting Filipino flavors. And as a cherry on top of our shopping journey, 𝗖𝗿cie has one last ingredient for us today, which is called suha.
So paano niyo po malalaman na bale pag hinog na yung suha?
Mag-yellow pero parang ganito.
Yellow. Hinog na po to.
From green, dark green to yellow. Talagang sabihin mong kinilaw ng Cagayan, ng Mindanao, kailangan may suha at saka yung tabon-tabon.
Hindi ko alam na ganito pala yung lasa kasi totally different. Kasi you can watch online po sa mga YouTube kung paano gumawa ng authentic na kinilaw. Pero kapag kunyari you're not from CDO and you don't have access to ingredients like this, iba yung product na magagawa mo eh. Yung mga flavor profile na gano'n, to mahirap i-replicate sa ibang mga ingredient. Saan sila pumunta doon? So, sir, what better way to end the day than with kinilaw?
Yes.
So, actually, dami nating pinagdaanan the whole day eh. Honestly, sir, parang kahit natikman ko na to, iba kasi yung parang siguro yung opinion ko lang dito is yung level of appreciation. Ngayon na parang nalaman ko na paano i-harvest and everything. Parang mas lumalalim yung parang yun nga, yung appreciation for this kind of of food.
Cheers.
Cheers.
According to renowned food historian Doreen Gamboa Fernandez, archaeological evidence from Butuan suggests that our ancestors prepared the dish by cutting fish in cubes and mixing that with the indigenous tabon-tabon. Some of the oldest surviving Kinilaw variants are from southern Visayas and northern Mindanao, like the Kinilaw we got to try in Cagayan de Oro and 𝗖𝗿cie 𝗀𝗀𝗃𝗃. Both are descendants of the ancient Visayan preparation methods as displayed in the Butuan archaeological finds. After exploring how kinilaw is made from scratch in CDO, we went to a quick side trip to what is believed to be the birthplace of this pre-colonial dish, Butuan. The locals pointed us to Baron's Kinilaw, run by 𝗖𝗿ecie𝘀𝗀𝗃𝗃, also known as the Kinilaw King of the city. Leo first sold his kinilaw at the Langyan Public Market. Of course, we can't leave Butuan without visiting Baron's Kinilaw.
Okay lang, kamayin ko na lang.
Kamayin mo na! Good? Kinilaw.
Nasa dito ano, yung napansin ko, nalalasan mo kagad yung tabon-tabon, yung pagkadagtarya.
Yeah.
Tsaka, yung parang very sweet din, yung fish very fresh,
Yeah.
maganda, very
Let's
light.
get some. What is that?
With a bit of onion. What do you think makes your kinilaw different sa ibang mga nagbebenta ng kinilaw?
Actually,
That's a
it's in
vinegar.
the freshness of the fish and how we ferment our vinegar. Because we age our own vinegar, we make our own vinegar.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, we ferment our own vinegar. We buy it straight from our suppliers. Yeah, sekreto niya yan eh.
Hindi pwede reveal. I'm trying to ano eh. Pero I can censor na parang we can't reveal this ano eh.
Then,
Secret.
actually, matagal yung proseso. Hindi madali kasi like we have a whole line of everything there na by batch, by batch.
Ang sarap ng sauce niya. Parang, actually pwede siyang inumin eh. Parang,
That's why my customers from Cebu do. Iniinom nila yung sauce after yan.
sinasabaw nila.
May nagre-request ng double sauce, triple sauce.
Triple sauce.
Okay. Hindi naman namin sila charge eh. Uptown?
After going to a deep dive into Kinilaw in Cagayan de Oro and Butuan, I was eager to head back to Manila to incorporate all my discoveries into my own interpretation of this beautiful dish. And finally, after a very wonderful experience in CDO and Butuan, over here we'll start with our beautiful malasugi fish. It's a very neutral fish, so it tends to be like a flavor carrier for everything that we're gonna put in it. I learned this step from Sir L.A. of 𝗖𝗿cie 𝗀𝗀𝗃𝗀. It's a bit more maasim, so that's what we're gonna do first. So we're gonna sort of not really marinate it, but just wash it in the tuba mixture. We'll set this aside while we make our sauce. What Sir L.A. taught me was to use the fresh tuba. So the fresh tuba is generally a bit sweeter, a bit more mellow than like the fermented tuba. So we're gonna use this as the base of our sauce. I dined in before in Gallery by 𝗖𝗿cie, and they had this dish that was sort of like a ceviche, and they incorporated like cashews into it. And I really liked the nutty, like thick mouthfeel of it, and I think it would pair super well with our kinilaw to make it extra creamy. This is just like our toasted cashews that I've soaked in water overnight, then pureed. So it comes out to be this really nice, almost like cashew milk cream. During my time in CDO, I noticed the biasong or suha leaves have actually like a lot of potential since they're so fragrant. They're almost like kaffir lime leaves. And next is one part of the Holy Trinity. So we have our biasong or suha. And we'll squeeze it directly into our sauce. It just makes me more excited about like what else is here in the Philippines that we don't necessarily know the full story of. Just a bit of MSG to add that, I guess, umami taste and just to round off the dish a bit more. Next up, we're gonna make our tabon-tabon infused tuba vinegar. Split into two. What we're gonna do now is scoop it directly into our fermented tuba vinegar. Into the sauce, we are gonna add in a bit of the fermented tuba along with the tabon-tabon that we soaked in it earlier. So it's good to like set it aside for about 10 minutes so all of like the biasong and the biasong leaves can really infuse into the sauce. Okay, so our sauce is coming together really nicely. Next up is some cucumbers, and in goes some chili, and then we'll season it with a bit of salt. Okay, I'll give this a bit of a taste, see what we need. No, I'm just kind of free-balling this at this point. It's good. Okay, I think we're ready for plating. I'm trying my best to do the Cagayanons and the wonderful people of Butuan justice with this dish. So I guess you can say this dish is sort of like my culmination. This is what they call 𝗖𝗿cie, which is made out of cassava. So it's like a cassava chip. And Chef Chino serves this in his restaurant with his Kinilaw. So just give it a good mix. Let all those flavors know each other. Put it on top of our cassava chip. I think they also call this salvaro in other parts of northern Mindanao. Okay, first bite. Wow. You know, tasting this really takes me back to everything that I experienced. And it's so nice that I was able to recreate it here in Manila, because part of me was really worried that I wouldn't be able to taste something like this again. This sort of made me realize how much more I appreciate Filipino food now. Tasting these things, especially when you know where it came from, the whole process, and especially when you've gone through, like you've met these really wonderful people and got to, you know, know their story behind like the restaurants and the way they procure these ingredients. I don't know, it just makes every bite a bit more special. And yeah, I'm just overall super thankful for this experience. It's been such a wild ride. You know, I guess I'll just enjoy the rest of this bowl and share it with my friends.